Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Ryan, we're Gamertag Dad, and today we are looking at the Malenia build within PvP. I thoroughly enjoyed this build, and as you can see it hits like an absolute truck when you can land your flurry of attacks. We are using the full Malenia setup that includes head to toe of all of her armour and her weapon itself. We do showcase the Ash of War every so often, but as you can see, you can get easily knocked back because the poise that we have with her armor setup isn't very high. If you want to stop that happening or reduce it from happening, you really want to be floating around the 101 poise mark. But I think we have something like 37 to 50 or something along those lines. It's just not fantastic. So you'll see I don't tend to use it often. However, I do start to read my opponents a little bit and see when they either start standing still or two, when they start lunging in at you. And this is where the build absolutely decimates. If you can wait for someone to start lunging at you, and you'll see a video coming up soon, I waited for him to get a little bit closer, and as soon as he stepped in, I unleashed a flurry of the skill, and we absolutely decimated them. Now we can see here, he comes up running in, we go ahead and throw it, he steps in, and then that's kind of the end of it. 1500 damage in a matter of seconds. Now, for anyone that's not used this weapon before, it does create bleed build-up. So if you can land more hits, you're going to do more damage. Now, we pair this with Flame Grant Me Strength for that nice boost. And we also use Golden Vow for, again, more damage output. Within our Flask, we have the Faith Not Crystal tier, which just allows us to get a little bit more faith. And then the second tier we use grants us more stamina recovery. You can change this for more damage negation. You can even change it for the exploding tier that you can put in, kamikaze your way in, which you may see throughout this. I come up against someone that all they used was that Flask, and it was hilarious because they would get blown up, and it means I could get a bit closer and do even more damage. The talisman setup that I currently ran was Shard of Alexander. If you're not planning on using the Ash of War, then go ahead and change this. I used a Rotten Winged Insignia and Millicent's Prosthesis paired with the Dragon Crest Greatshield. Now this gave me extra damage negation, and if you're not planning, like I said, on using the shard, you can go ahead and throw down either more HP or more FP. It kind of depends on what your playstyle is, which is what I loved about this build. I don't tend to use Millicent's Prosthesis and the Rotten Winged Insignia all that often, because what I tend to find is you don't really ever get close enough to be able to get a lot of attacks off in one hit. Now, what I did find with this build is I got close enough, and if you can land your Ash of War, you're going to wreck someone. What's perfect about this build is with the Hand of Malenia, you get quite a big reach with the weapon, which allows us to stay a little bit further back and still wreck them. This build, I can't recommend it enough. If you do want to try more cosplay builds, then this is something you definitely should try. I am going to do a Radahn one, and I'm going to go ahead and try Renala as well, and kind of see how they fare within PvP. Those will probably come out in the next few weeks. If you are enjoying this and you are new to the channel, don't forget to drop a sub. If you are still here and you're either new or old to the channel, then drop a comment down and drop a like for any builds you want to see next. Or if you're enjoying the PvP content, I'm still going to carry on with the builds because I do thoroughly enjoy those, but I already had a build pre-set up from the last build that we did that paired with Malenia really well. So instead of wasting a tier, I thought it'd be best to go ahead and do a Malenia video. I wasn't planning on doing a full PvP video, but I kind of did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then kind of got addicted to it. Next thing I knew, it was a few hours later. I've not decided to use all the clips, but I have just used a few of them that have been really fun to use. We do go ahead and fight someone who is role-playing as Jesus. They were a lot of fun to come up against. The spells were definitely a lot different. The armor setup was kind of like mine cosplay-wise. I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Now we're moving on to someone with a whopping great big hammer, which I like the look of this hammer, but it really doesn't do a lot of damage. If it clips you, it does a lot. However, the Ash of War is just terrible. Now, what I've learned within doing the PvP side, if someone's dropping down and standing up, it tends to mean that they're ready. Kind of depends on who you come up against, because not everyone will let you buff up, pot up, and well, use your Ash as well to get yourself the extra stats depending on what Ash you're running. However, this person did. I don't always buff up properly because it's a bit slow. So, you know, you can go ahead and actually change the Flame Grant Me Strength to Howler Shibari if you really wanted to. It depends how good you are, and it depends kind of how good the opponent is at letting you buff up. But you can see there, I got hit with a flurry of attacks. Didn't really hit that hard. You know, I'm not running the most damage negation setup, and I don't have the best armor on, but yet, I don't know, just this weapon itself just isn't that great. It's not something I'm personally going to use. However, if you do want to see it, then just drop me a note down below. I may do a build with it for PvE purposes. If you would like to see PvP clips of me actually doing live audio, then just drop me a message down below. I may even do a few live streams of just doing PvP, because it's always fun to hear the actual reactions, because it's not as soft as this is. Now, if you have all enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, keep in touch with the channel. So we'll go ahead and fight someone else here. They were using Malekith's armor predominantly, and this was quite a good person to come up against. They actually dropped me a personal message afterwards to see if we wanted to do more fights, so you may see more clips of them. Now, I think I won the overall fight. However, he goes ahead and schools me twice because he's gone ahead and changed his weapon setup here. Now, he was good to me, let me buff up, so I just kind of stood there and waited for him to buff up and get ready. I know it's not the most fun content to watch. However, for especially the Colosseum, I feel like it's good housekeeping and good camaraderie, I guess are the words we could use here, to show that, you know, let someone get to their full potential first and then come at you. However, this one was a little bit slow, but there was a lot of buffs and I had a lot of buffs. There we go, there's the complimentary teabag to let you know that we're ready to go. And I love this move that he's using. It was so trippy to come up against. I just couldn't time the Ash of War properly to get him to come up to my feet as he teleported in, then I could just unleash a flurry of attacks and school them, but just couldn't get close enough. Now, I can't remember how this fight went. I think I won this one, then he wins the next one. But you know, there we go. It was fun to do nonetheless. I love seeing people's unique builds, people's weapons that they use, armor setup that they use. Even when it comes to like cosplaying, obviously I've come up against Jesus here in the earlier part of the video. That was a lot of fun. And I've come up against other boss mimics to come up against you. I haven't actually thrown any spirits into these because I always just turn it off. I don't really want to fight someone else's mimic. Don't think it would be that much fun. I think these games would just drag a little bit. Now, if you are all enjoying this, drop a sub down. If you are new, just comment that you're new and around here, and I'll always reply to the comments. It's part of my favourite part of the day, really, going through the comment section and replying. I'm going to start posting a few more shorts of PvP specifically. Seems like the last one I did went down pretty well. It got 1900 views and a couple of you subscribed, so welcome. And anyone else that's new to the channel, welcome to the channel. We are going to be doing a lot more with it. I am tempted to throw in a little bit of other Souls games. Maybe Bloodborne I'm looking at. Going back to here is I hit 1500 damage. You can kind of see how mad the damage output is if someone gets close enough and can't roll out, or they run out of stamina. That's always great when they can't actually get away from you. And a talisman that I did end up putting on towards the end of the fights I was doing was the Erdtree's Favour +2, because it gives you a huge stamina boost and it gives you a nice HP boost as well. The equipment load isn't really a problem with this. We're medium running, so that isn't really a big deal. It's not like we have heavy armor, but I think going forward, I replaced it with the I replaced it with the Shard of Alexander for the Erdtree's Favour. Now, for this fight, I don't know why I derped out really hard because of Swarm of Flies. I've done one of those fights before, and it's really easy to get out of the way of, but I don't know, it just threw me completely. He got me with it, and the Rivers of Blood absolutely decimated me afterwards. I just went full idiot with this one. Right, I hope you have all enjoyed that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye!